what's up?
Jonathan Majors just sat down for his first interview since being convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Now he's receiving a lot of backlash after making comparisons to his new girlfriend and a civil rights legend. Take a listen to it.
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know?
Good day. Major says his girlfriend Meagan Good has been holding him down like Coretta King, Martin Luther King's wife.
The trajectory of Jonathan Majors' career was nothing short of meteoric. He seemed to be on an unstoppable rise, moving swiftly up the Hollywood ranks to be positioned as the next big A-lister. From critically acclaimed roles in Lovecraft Country and Devotion to high-profile franchises like Creed 3 and Marvel's Ant-Man, Jonathan was crafting a legacy as a versatile, commanding presence on screen. He didn't just act, he embodied the strong black man archetype. Intelligent, resilient, and deeply layered. Audiences were beginning to see him not only as Hollywood's powerhouse, but as a cultural figure, a representative of black excellence in a still largely white-dominated industry. But then, as fast as he rose, he fell. Allegations of domestic violence shattered his image, turning him into a polarizing figure almost overnight. What made his fall so stark wasn't just the scandal itself, but how it clashed with the persona he had so carefully cultivated. For many, his swift public relationship with actress Meagan Good, seemingly timed as a PR move, only deepened the skepticism. Was this calculated damage control, or was it genuine? Also adding in his perfectly polished public appearances and interviews, which some found more performative than relatable. And his authenticity began to come into question. Why do so many people now find it hard to trust Jonathan Majors? Is it the scandals, the PR maneuvers, or something deeper? Perhaps rooted in how his image, a carefully crafted blend of strength and sensitivity, has fractured under the weight of controversy. His story does show how precarious fame can be, especially when perception and reality no longer align. Jonathan Majors was a troubled kid who found an outlet in the theaters. He performed in theaters and worked his way from the ground up into the big screens. His stellar performances was beginning to leave a lasting impression, being labeled as Hollywood's most wanted actor. Jonathan Majors was doing everything he needed to do as an actor. Actors often do body image changes to fit roles, like when 50 Cent lost over 50 pounds for his role as a cancer patient in the 2011 movie All Things Fall Apart, going on a strict 9-week liquid diet. It was the opposite for Jonathan, who gained weight for his roles, eating over 6,000 calories per day.
And to grow that, right, you have to eat as much protein that you ate. So
You're eating 6,000 calories a day like him?
So I ate 6,100 calories a day.
Often black men in Hollywood get pushed into this strong masculine archetype. Slowly, Jonathan was breaking those barriers, posing for basically every major publication, including Ebony, Men's Health, and The Cut. With the photo shoot for Ebony, he presented a softer, more romantic side of masculinity. The Valentine's Day themed shoot featured Jonathan in various shades of pink, red, adorned with flowers and feathers. His most notable photo shoot was the inspiration from the anime character One Piece, Jonathan wearing a fluffy pink jacket reminiscing of the character, showcasing his versatility and willingness to embrace diverse influences. Jonathan was different and brought something new and refreshing to not only Hollywood, but Black Hollywood.
A few days ago, you were trending on Twitter.
Yep.
Some people didn't like that you were wearing pink and ebony, and they felt like it wasn't masculine enough.
Yeah.
What do you say to those? I mean, I think they're haters. I think it's toxic.
Love, it's like there's strength and there's vulnerability. There's awareness, and then there's acknowledgement of ignorance. A big part of it is kindness, use of power.
Yeah.
Gentleness.
Mm-hmm.
These are masculine characteristics.
Yes.
It's quite unmasculine to try to emasculate another man.
But it wasn't until the evening of March 25th, 2023, that Jonathan Majors and his then-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, were involved in an altercation in New York. The incident began when Grace reportedly discovered text messages from another woman on Jonathan's phone, leading to a heated argument. As tensions escalated, the confrontation moved to a hired car where Jonathan allegedly assaulted Grace, resulting in injuries to her head and neck. These injuries came from Jonathan putting Grace back into the car during the argument, which then resulted in Jonathan running away from Grace for several blocks, during which she recorded parts of the incident on her phone. These recordings, along with the surveillance footage, were later presented as evidence during Jonathan's trial. The trial was a split verdict, with the evidence indicating that Jonathan wasn't the aggressor that night, even though Grace sustained injuries. The driver, Naveed Sarwar, saying on stand that Jonathan wasn't doing anything, then saying that Grace was doing everything. The courts did agree that the injuries inflicted on Grace was an accident, but their personal text messages was used in court. The defense was that Jonathan exhibited manipulative behavior by threatening self-harm to influence Grace's actions. He mentioned, "Last night I considered offing myself," which the court interpreted as an attempt to elicit sympathy and deter her from reporting the incident. These communications were viewed as coercive control, a form of psychological manipulation often present in abusive relationships. The court considered this evidence alongside other testimonies and materials, leading to Jonathan's conviction on charges of assault and harassment. The moment the media outlets heard of these charges, it took an immediate hit to Jonathan's career. If you look at the bigger picture, Jonathan was definitely guilty of something, but because he was still new and he is black, the media hit was over-amplified, so it made it easier for Jonathan's career to have a firm downfall. His public perception drastically changed after the trial. Because the allegations clashed with his crafted image as a sensitive, honorable man, and it also clashed with the image he was playing for black media. A lot of times, in order to resonate with black audiences, black male celebrities are told to hide their white spouses, so the majority of Jonathan's fans didn't know he was in a long-term relationship with someone like Grace. Jonathan keeps saying he's doing things for the culture, that he's important for the culture. He was constantly giving off an old civil rights persona, so it makes the audiences feel like he resonates well with history, our great important leaders. He made that a part of his public identity, especially with the release of an audio tape where he told his white girlfriend, Grace, to be his Coretta King, the wife of the famous Martin Luther King.
Jonathan Majors just sat down for his first interview since being convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Now he's receiving a lot of backlash after making comparisons to his new girlfriend and a civil rights legend. Take a listen to it.
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know?
Good day. Major says his girlfriend Meagan Good has been holding him down like Coretta King, Martin Luther King's wife. Now, this isn't the first time he's made reference to her when speaking about the type of woman he wants. Now, the daughter of the civil rights couple, Bernice King, is weighing in. She tweeted this message saying, "My mother wasn't a prop. She was a peace advocate well before she met my father." She goes on to say, "Please understand my mama was a force." Now, while Bernice did not mention Majors by name because she didn't need to, everyone knew what she was referring to.
Then when he randomly popped up with Meagan Good, people were awfully confused. Meagan Good is a black actress beloved within the black community. To many, the timing felt strategic, an attempt to realign himself with the black community at a moment where his reputation was under fire. Meagan has been the baddest since she stepped on our screens and is known for her positive image and strong ties to black culture. So this was seen by some as a safe choice to rehabilitate his public persona. So at first, the relationship definitely gave a calculated PR move. So when Meagan was tagging along to his interviews and court trials and sat there for his interview about the Grace situation, then he compared her to Coretta King, it was very off-putting.
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta.
This week, we are talking about red flags or deal breakers.
Okay.
His last 5 exes were white women.
Jonathan Majors.
Was he looking for Coretta King energy? Next to him with her head held high.
Was he looking for Coretta King energy from those pink-toed women?
There needs to be a comic made where the black woman is the superhero, super niggerette.
She's saving for white women.
All your girlfriends were white. They your life, and here you come with a seasoned meal and rent.
She can fix a tire. She
Potting.
can spice up a car.
She's spicing the car and the food. She making biscotti and Alfredo and turkey. What is up?
This is collard greens.
Look, black eyed peas.
Shout out to
Meagan Coretta King Jr. Good.
And most importantly, it felt inauthentic. The relationship looked weird on both sides. Meagan Good just got out of a divorce a year prior to Pastor Devon Franklin. The timing of the relationship announcement was right after his arrest and the emergence of allegations against him. The timing didn't make sense. It did appear that the relationship might have been a calculated attempt by Jonathan to try and deflect negative attention away from him and gain favor within the Black community. The abruptness of this pairing contrasted with Megan's usual private approach to relationships, especially since her most recent divorce. Megan just suddenly entered a relationship with someone in the middle of a PR and legal crisis, which in hand could have potentially tarnished her own brand. Even though we're looking from the outside in, to her fans, it just seemed uncharacteristic and even risky, as some people wondered why she would willingly put herself in that situation. Megan even openly admitting herself that her own friends told her not to date Jonathan, but she felt compelled to do it anyways. Since the trial, Jonathan has lost basically everything that was in line for him the next few years. Regardless of the situation, things like that hit people very hard. Going from being the top of the world to basically ridiculement and having to start over, it must have been really tough. In 2024, Jonathan accepted the Hollywood Unlocked Perseverance Award, and his acceptance speech was very interesting to some and got a lot of mixed reactions.
Jonathan Majors, who obviously was convicted, although I should say was convicted and acquitted in the assault trial, the domestic violence trial in New York City.
Yes.
We know that he got an independent movie role since then, and he is trying to put his career back together.
Lost his Marvel gig, though.
Yes, lost the Marvel gig, but this weekend he was awarded for perseverance. He actually received the Perseverance Award at the Impact Awards, and he had an interesting speech. You saw that his girlfriend, Meagan Good, was there by his side. She was in tears at points during his speech as he accepted the Perseverance Award. Very clear that he's thinking about what he's gone through and what he's going to continue to go through as he tries to rebuild his career.
As a Black man in the criminal justice system, I felt anger, I felt sadness. We must persevere through injustice. Perseverance means persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay. And the God I serve has put me in a position where I've had to embody that word more than I wished or wanted to. What I've learned is that when you catch a glimpse of light, you run as hard and as fast as you can towards it.
Now, the crowd definitely ate up what he had to say. And it sounds like, cheering for him to make this comeback.
Yeah, he actually said a lot. He was giving his speech for almost 15 minutes. And, I was in the crowd and no one was rushing him. We were all just listening to what he said. And you mentioned his girlfriend, Meagan Good, was there. There was a point where he turned to Meagan and he just literally said to her, "Thank you for being there by my side. There's been many nights where you have just picked me up when I was down and could not get up." And he just really went on to say how much he truly loves her and was just thanking her for sticking by him through this past year that's been very, very tumultuous for him.
On stage at the Hollywood Unlocked / Zeus Awards.
I see him go.
And received an award. And he went up there and did a whole bunch of crying, and he looked at Meagan Good in the audience, and she was crying too.
You're so in love, we're gonna cry about it.
Oh my God. Let's go.
Yeah, watch.
I love you.
Beyond.
I love you beyond all limits.
Nobody talk like that. What Tyler Perry movie you heard that in?
He sound like a slave.
What Tyler Perry movie you heard say that?
He sound like Harriet Tubman's my pops, nigga.
Damn.
And Mary J. Mary J. loves Without a Limit.
Dog.
I'm trying to.
That nigga sound like he is in rare acting form.
So you don't think that that's genuine?
This nigga look like a raisin in the sun. I just throw it into the kitchen. I had to Google it, raisin in the sun. When he's in the kitchen talking.
I'm pressing. Before this clip played, you were asking Ish or Ice or somebody on that couch if we think that he's being sincere or not.
Oh yeah, I asked Ish. Do you think that he's being sincere?
We all up here in a funny time, but
Yeah.
I can't speak to sincerity or his love for the young lady. I just know that shit sounds like an Oscar-worthy performance.
He is a thespian.
He could be.
No.
He could be, but like you said, he is a trained professional. Princeton.
I saw his previous
Yale.
work.
Yeah. Oh, he got all A's.
Yeah, thespian.
What?
And that was a set.
Thespian.
Yeah.
Thespian.
He thought I said
Fuck all
lesbian.
that.
Yeah.
You seen his previous work as in movies or no?
No.
Oh, the work.
The work. He's sincere.
Mel, you think he's sincere?
Absolutely.
Why? Based on what?
Oh shit! Somebody hopped on the back end again.
I'm not. I'm.
Not you. I'm talking to the box. I swear, me, box.
I can see why. I can see why people would say that looks performative, and the fact that he's an actor, so people don't have this ability to say, okay, well, is he acting or is he?
Because Jonathan is seen as inauthentic, some people didn't take his speech as heartwarming. They felt like he had his acting hat on and was performing for the crowd like he usually does. Now that time has passed, things are slowly beginning to loosen up for Jonathan. Before the scandal, Disney was prepping to release a bodybuilding movie called Magazine Dreams, starring Jonathan, but it got pulled after the legal drama. Good news for Jonathan, the movie is finally set to be released in 2025, along with his marriage with his now fiancée Meagan Good. Jonathan has been through a bumpy period that only time could fully fix, but considering him and Meagan genuinely seem happy, it looks like the right step for Jonathan's life in order to move forward from his fall from grace. What do you think about Jonathan Majors' career and why people don't necessarily trust him or his pairing with Meagan as authentic? Let me know what you think down below and make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Toodles!